Welcome to the Beyond the Years podcast, a podcast about all things Disney. Welcome to the show, guys, and today we have a very, very interesting episode for you. So, as always, I am Josh, one of the hosts, and I am joined by the lovely Ashley.
Hello, everyone.
Who is slowly waking up.
Yeah, I fell asleep. We're burning like so many candles in this house, and it was warm, and I had my robe on, and I had just eaten lunch. Perfect napping climate.
Yeah.
So I fell asleep. Well, and Josh put all this pressure on to like come up with this amazing Pixar movie idea because he's got one, which we'll talk about. And I think the pressure just made me pass out.
I love that you say that because I'm like, wasn't pressuring you at all. I'm just like, hey, we're going to do a podcast about us making our own Disney movie today. And you were like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So before we start, because Josh is literally bursting at the seams today. He's bursting at the seams. He's been like jumping up and down, like ready to talk about this movie idea.
Because it's good.
I hope maybe Pixar will steal it and we can actually like see it come to life.
Well, that'd be cool, but I'd want some money from it. I don't care if it's like $100,000. Just give me
just 100,000.
Yeah, I don't care.
Nothing. We are 61. Is it 61 days out?
Yeah, because tomorrow
from
we have
our trip to Disney. Yeah, because tomorrow I have to book their dining reservations.
Yeah, you can't forget.
I'll put a reminder in my phone.
Because you'll be like, I got a meeting at work this morning, and I'm like, book the freaking restaurant.
No, there's because it'll open up at 6 or a little before 6. So I just have to make sure I'm up and around, and I don't think it won't take me very long. Just take me a few minutes, so I'll do it while I'm at work.
We'll have to go over that tonight again, and we need to book our magic bands.
I know, God, how many podcasts have we said that on?
So
we mentioned the magic bands every time.
Can we book our magic bands? And you're like, I'm just exhausted. I'm just gonna fall asleep on the couch. or like, hey, are we gonna book our magic bands? Like, yeah, we can do it later. And then later, it's like, are we gonna book our magic bands? And as she's scrolling through like TikTok,
it's
I'm like,
one of those things.
Let's just book our freaking magic bands. You're looking at your phone.
It's literally, it's one of those things that you procrastinate on for no reason. Like putting away that small load of laundry that takes you 5 minutes, and you wait like 3 days.
Yeah.
To put it up. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I get it, but I don't think. Hopefully, it's not.
Let's
like
do
too
it
expensive.
after this. Let's do it after this.
Okay.
Okay, we're doing it.
We better. Next week's episode. Hey guys, welcome back. We're 50 days or 55 days away now, and we got to book our magic band still. And
yeah. Okay, so any Disney news or updates you want to provide other than we are 61 days out from our Disney World trip?
No Disney. Secret Invasion is on episode 3, and I haven't watched episode 3 yet, surprisingly. So we'll watch episode. You need to watch all the episodes up to 3, and we'll do a podcast on the first half of the season.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming up. But I don't really have anything else.
Okay.
Nothing major.
Well, let's get started. So we're going to be talking about Disney Pixar movie pitches. And really, Josh has a full movie pitch that he's going to be doing. And I am hoping it inspires me to come up with something, because I just had so many different ideas that I couldn't like land on one. And then I was just like, everything I kind of came up with was already similar to another movie that exists. Not a Pixar movie, but just like another movie in general.
So here's the thing. I feel like all Pixar movies have to follow a same kind of formula of like good, like beginning with a little bit of drama, like a middle, where it's like really high, and then like a third act, like fall, and then a rise kind of thing. So that's kind of what I just thought about other Disney movies that are like Pixar movies that we've watched that kind of have that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I took more inspiration from like Soul for this movie, but it's not like a copy and paste of Soul, but like that's kind of where I was inspired from.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
All right. So the movie will be called A Work of Art. Okay? And it follows an artist who pretty much falls out of like falling in love with art and he lives in Kansas City. He has this a run of the mill, like he works 3 jobs. He kind of just does his own thing. He's got a family, like a mom and dad. He's not like married or anything. And his Nana, I'm trying to decide if I want to call it Nana or Nina, because I kind of wanted to be a mix between, like I call my mom's mom Nina. So I think a mixture of Nana and Nina would be like Nina.
That'd be cute.
So I'm kind of going back and forth on that. But beyond that, I'll just get into it.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
It sounds interesting so far.
Okay, so I'm going to give you like the casting so you can hear them talk as I'm going through. I didn't like write scripts. I just wrote like a plot synopsis of what's happening. So you'll kind of have an idea. Like they'll be using their like actual normal voices. Nothing like Tom Hiddleston using an American voice kind of thing. If it was Tom Hiddleston, you'd hear Tom Hiddleston as like a British guy.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll give you the cast first. Okay, A Work of Art. So your main cast, his name is Nicholas Mullenberg. He is voiced by Adam Driver.
Okay.
Okay. Emma Thompson is his Nina Eleanor Mullenberg.
Okay.
You know who Emma Thompson is, right? So she's British. This is I'll get to the story in a minute, but Paul Bettany as the dad.
Okay.
Marissa Tomei as the mom.
I don't know who that is.
Marissa Tomei, that's Aunt May from Homecoming.
Oh, okay.
That's the voice
I get
of the
it.
mom. And then Amelia Clark as Sophia, Nicholas's love interest.
Okay.
And
Nice.
the only reason I did the Amelia Clark was because she's the most relevant, like, British, because she's doing Secret Invasion. And I was
She'd
like,
be great in a Pixar movie.
Yeah,
because she's very theatrical.
Yeah, I was like, that would work perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to start the movie.
Okay, let's go.
The start of the movie is when a young Nick is visiting Nina Eleanor in London at the Royal College of Art, where she teaches. Nick shows an interest in art, and we get a montage of Nick as he ages with his Nina through a kind of like the beginning of a Pixar movie, how you got like, the little lamp.
Like a memory. And
Yeah, so like as it's like going through the beginning credits, it's showing him and her like drawing together as he grows up.
Yeah, that's super cute.
But obviously she's British. And I'll kind of get to the story of that in a minute. But so we see like his drawings progress as he gets older and older and older. So now it jumps to now, current day. We find Nick, 27, working multiple oddball jobs.
He's so excited he can't talk.
So we find Nick working multiple oddball jobs, from a waiter to a rec center employee and a barista at a coffee shop, making ends meet in a studio-style apartment in Kansas City. And I got the inspiration for the studio-style apartment with our friends Zach and Brittany. Used to live in a super cool studio apartment in Kansas City, which was kind of where I got the idea for Kansas City. And it was an old school. And
that place was freaking awesome.
Yeah, and they like remade the whole, I don't remember what the place is called, but you can look it up on Google and find it. But it was so interesting. Like there were school rooms and they were actually like turned into apartments. It was crazy. It was super cool. And they had an awesome little spot.
Yes. We spent, because they moved in.
They were like one of the
first tenants.
Yeah.
And they were still doing construction on the whole thing. And so we spent hours walking around this whole school.
Yeah.
because it still looked like a school.
Yeah,
And then you would go, it was very creepy.
because we took our trip
Like
up there at
old
night.
school. Not like,
Yeah. This is very like 1900 school.
yeah,
like early
like
1900s.
like big wooden entryways.
Yeah,
and
big banisters.
yes. Oh god, it was so
Like old lockers that would like look rusted, but they not rusted, but they weren't like rusty.
Yeah. They one of the coolest rooms was in the basement. They filled in part of the pool in the basement, and that was like part of the living room in one of the units.
It was so weird.
It was so weird. And they like didn't take out the stadium seating by the pool.
Or the tile.
Yeah.
Even the tile, because
they literally
I think there was
so
some
weird.
Yeah,
We
there's
have
some
videos.
stuff they couldn't take apart because it was like a historical building.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So they had to keep some of it
But
there.
it was freaking awesome.
So anyway, like I imagined no,
I
it's
just
okay.
love that place.
So I imagine like he's living in like their little studio apartment or 1-bedroom apartment, whatever it was. So like I said, he's 27. He works multiple little jobs, and he's kind of just living life. Nick's mom and dad, like he goes to visit his mom and dad, and they're asking him about his life and his job, and you kind of get like a little bit of backstory of like Nick's dad, Paul Bettany. I don't have a name for that. I just called it Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like he lived in London, traveled to the States because he's an artist too. Traveled to the States, and he found himself meeting his mom, who was from Kansas City, and then she ended up getting him to move to Kansas City. So that's kind of why you have like this like dynamic between the two. So they tell Nick that he needs to get back into his art, and he was so good and talented, and Nick is kind of just like okay, hold on, I'll just follow my script here.
Yes.
So they want him to go back into school. However, he has had no interest in doing so because he was not accepted into the Royal College of Arts in London, where his Nana taught, because she's a teacher there. So Nick still has a relationship with his Nana, but it hasn't been the same or as strong as it used to be. Instead of seeing her multiple times a year, he only sees her a few times a year when she flies to Kansas City. So their relationship has kind of been a little bit off because when he graduated high school and was trying to get into the college program there, like he didn't get accepted multiple times. So I'm kind of going off that vibe of that, like he thinks that she should have nudged the school to get him in, or he kind of thought he had an in with her being there. So that's kind of what I'm going for.
Okay.
So we find Nick working one day at one of his jobs, and he gets a call from his dad. And the dad tells Nick that his Nina,
Mm-hmm.
has passed away. So Nick and family travel to London to mourn the death of the Nina and go to the funeral. Nick has a very heavy heart, knowing that he should have spoke to his Nina more over the past few years. As a family is cleaning up her flat, which is an apartment in London. I figured I'd use that terminology. And getting rid of and packing things to take back home, Nick comes across an old sketchbook that he and his Nina would use, along with the same pack of pencils they used. These pencils are a very key element to the story. So I'm thinking like there's a pack of 12 pencils and they used 2 like when he was sketching, and now there's only 10 left. Note that. As a family packs, they meet one of I wrote Nana, so I'm just going to put Nana instead of trying to say Nina.
Okay.
One of Nana's best students, and also she runs a art gallery, Sophia, played by Emilia Clarke. This is her character. Sophia asks if there is anything she could do to help with the family, and if she could keep some of the paintings and art from the Nana, because obviously she was like a big mentor for Sophia. Kind of going off with that. Got to get the love interest in there, sneaking her way in there. So Sophia and Nick talk about Nana Eleanor and what she meant to both of them. As they walk through London, they exchange numbers, and the family flies back home. On the flight back, Nick flips through the old sketchbook and finds an empty page. Nick starts to doodle. As he begins to doodle, he hears his Nana talk. He thinks he's exhausted from the flight and falls asleep. Back home, Nick's back in his apartment. He's unpacking. He hears a faint voice coming from his backpack. When he opens the backpack, the pencils shoot out of the bag as he distinctly hears his Nana speaking specifically to him. So, like, the pencils are all moving, but they're coming out of, like, he just hears one voice. It's not like all of them are talking. He just hears her and all the pencils moving. Nick talks to her, and she tells him he should start drawing again because she has seen the doodles in the sketchbook. So obviously, as he was drawing on the plane, she's obviously can like see like what he's doing. Nick goes back and forth at his jobs thinking about what is happening. Every time he returns home, his Nana constantly bugs him about picking up his apartment, cutting his hair, pretty much anything a Nana could nitpick you for. After multiple days, Nick finally breaks down and asks why he wasn't accepted into the program in London. Nana replies and gives reasons, which motivates Nick into picking art back up. He reaches out to Sophia as he begins to draw again. So like I said, this is like synopsis kind of stuff. So there's obviously more filler stuff that would happen in the story.
Okay.
Like him talking to the pencils as he's drawing or whatever. Sophia comes to Kansas City as Nick tells her what is going on with him and his Nana, and that his Nana is literally speaking through the pencils to him. Sophia thinks he's crazy, but he knows like what's actually happening, and he starts to say stuff that the Nana had told Sophia, and like no one else would know other than Sophia. So then Sophia is like, "Oh my gosh, like this is crazy." They both begin, creating feelings towards one another because of the intimacy of this like whole thing that's happening. And Nick starts taking drawings more seriously. He enters a few local art galleries and shows where his art is making heads start to turn. Him and Sophia then travel back for a huge art presentation for a freelancing drawers at the school his Nana taught at. He gets confronted by the dean of the school, calling Nick a hack and someone who doesn't deserve to go to such a good art school, because he doesn't like how he draws or like his thought process behind his drawing. And I kind of want Nick to be like he wants to be in animation, like that kind of drawing, because I feel like this would be a really good movie for like as an animator, kind of have a movie about you. You know what I mean? So Nick finds himself like, that's after they come back from London. Nick, that's all he wants is to be accepted into the school because his Nana taught there. He just wants to be like part of that. So Nick finds himself in a dark place. He lashes out at Sophia and his Nana. He returns home and is back to the same old routine that we found him in the beginning of the movie, working the 3 jobs, just the normal crap that he's been doing. When he returns home, one day, he finds the pencils all drawing on the walls and in the sketchbook. And and they are all the memories they have recently shared together. So, hold on, I lost myself here. Oh, okay. So the recent memories that they've had together through this like whole journey so far. But instead of it being just Nick holding a pencil, it shows Nick and his Nana. So it's like her behind him, like holding his shoulder as he draws, or like him in the park drawing on a bench, and it shows her sitting next to a bench, like looking at the book. Mm-hmm. So it's like she was there the whole time. This inspires Nick to get back on his feet and creates a beautiful drawing. But Nick then realizes, after his Nana drew the big mural on all the walls, that this is where I kind of messed up and had to go back when I was writing it earlier, that the more the pencils are used, the less the Nana talks. So you're losing her through the wear of these pencils. So as he like has to sharpen the pencil more,
yeah,
like he loses a little bit of her. Start the tears. He reaches back out to Sophia, and they make up during his social. Hold on. Oh, okay. Hold on. I missed a big part here. Okay, so he reaches out to Sophia. Sophia like inspires him also to like draw something. He draws something and posts it to social media, where it blows up. Nick is approached by multiple artists, animators, and different galleries trying to get Nick to work for them. So that's like his big like push.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of a happy, like Nick's finally finding his way, but he still realized like, wow, the more I use the pencils, the less I get to see of my Nana. He talks to Sophia about it. He's finally like coming to terms with like what's happening. And like this is like the tail end of the story here. Nick starts his own animation studio with Sophia. As Nick walks down the halls of the new building, he's got like all the memories. He redrew all the murals from the apartment on the walls of the new building, and like Sophia has colored them in because she's like the painter. He has the sketchbook and the last bit of pencil that he has with her. He sits down at his desk, thanks his Nana, and begins his last picture with the pencil. As he finishes the picture, it's a picture of him and his Nana with their catchphrase, "A work of art," at the bottom. The end.
Cute. That could be like a Pixar origin story about how Pixar came to be.
Yeah, kind of. So anyway, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
I like it. It was good.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like it, like like if you're an artist or an animator, you would like relate to that. And as someone who when I lost my grandpa, it was like one of those things, like in the beginning of the story, he doesn't reach out to his Nana as much as he could have. Mm-hmm. And I feel that way with my grandpa. I could have reached out more, but like, I was younger and dumber and I just didn't reach out. And then like one day, he has passed away. So you kind of carry that guilt around with you. So I thought this would be like, that's also a good way of like closing that chapter of your life. Like when you lose someone that like, the pencils are talking to him. And I think it would be really fun with Emma Thompson as the voice, because she's kind of like witty. Mm-hmm. And the pencils like move however she wants to. So she like, if he's drawing, she can take another pencil and like slap his hand like, "What are you doing? Like, don't draw like that. Like, draw the way you want to draw," kind of thing. And I just think the banter between her and like Adam Driver as the voice of him would be like really fun. It's just, I don't know. I really like the idea.
That's cute. I think it would be good.
I just need Disney or DreamWorks or someone to hear this. I don't even care if it goes to Disney. I just need this movie to be made. But yeah. So that's what I spent like an hour working on. An hour working on it, and it was only about like 16 minutes of me talking about it. What a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really hard because I've never done anything like that before. So it's hard not to like write script. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like write out lines, because I don't know how to do that. But I really want to do that. But I can't do it.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Big time commitment to write out lines and dialogue.
That's why I was like, you know what? We're just going to do like a plot synopsis here. Because I didn't really want to write out a script anyway. But I did think it would be fun just to like hear the main beats of the story. Like, you know, the mom's from England. They live in Missouri. Blah, 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 blah. You know, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gives it more of like a divide too. Because like, he obviously could have talked to her more on the phone. Because he could call her anytime. But he just didn't. And I think it's also like kind of like expectations. You expect like something like going to a college to be like all you want to do, and you don't get it, and it kind of like your dreams kind of go to the wayside. I feel like that speaks to a lot of people. You know, some people like, I just want to go to Harvard Law School, and they don't get into Harvard. They go into some other school, and that like, I don't know. I wasn't like that because I didn't like school, but I know some people that might like school that are really disappointed that they didn't get into a program or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you're thinking over there.
I'm just trying to process. I don't really have much to say other than I like it. I think it would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any like criticism for you because I think it's a cute movie.
No, I don't want criticism. I just you're just kind of sitting over there, and I'm like trying to pick your brain. I'm like,
well,
what?
I usually am the one who does all the talking, so I was kind of trying to give this one to you.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, I don't like talking no more. I don't know. I've kind of had that idea in my head. Like, so at work, I work by myself. Like, I work around other people, but I mainly work by myself, and I come up with movie ideas in my head. Because I'm like, I got to keep myself entertained. And I can't listen to headphones at work. So you kind of just create a story. And I don't know why I picked art. I think I've always enjoyed art, but I haven't never like expanded on that other than like, oh, I want to draw, and I'll like draw for like a week, and I'm like, yeah, I suck at this, but I like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like kind of like your character, you have things that you enjoy, but what ends up happening in real life is like you got to pay the bills. And so he has 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And not a lot of time to dedicate to the things he enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to have a job or multiple jobs and a lot of different commitments and still find time for things that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Yeah. And I feel like I was telling you in the beginning or like earlier, I was like, I feel like you have to hear their voice, like the actor's voice, to like put dialogue together. So I can just imagine like, you know, Paul Bettany as the dad trying to convince him to do like in, you know, the Paul Bettany voice, like what you hear in Vision when he talks.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that like, you got to go back to school, or you could start drawing again. Or like when they're picking up like the flat, you know, I remember doing this, or like telling stories like that. I think it's just really, I don't know, just really, it'd be really like interesting dynamic. Yeah. And Marissa Tomei, I couldn't think of like another lady, but she puts off like a really good like mommy vibe, you know?
Yeah. I feel like the most important characters are Nick, Sally. You said, was it
Sophia.
Sophia?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sally. Wow.
You
don't even like my movie.
Nick, Sophia, and then the
Nana. Yeah.
Nina.
Yeah. Which I was like, Emma Thompson is like, she's like one of my favorite actresses, and I always enjoy the movies she's in because she's just so like witty. Like she's like Cruella's mom in the Cruella movie, and just a lot of the other movies that she's been in. She's just so funny. You know what I mean? She's got that witty that I'd want these pencils to be like, don't do that.
Yeah, it would keep the movie from being like super depressing and sad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, like I said, and she's just like giving him a hard time about pick up around here. This place is a mess. Like, you got dirty dishes in the sink. You need a haircut. Like, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Be
just
super cute.
Be fun. And not, like you said, not so depressing. Because it would be kind of a sad story. But not.
It would be sad at the beginning. I think a lot of Pixar movies start out that way. Like Finding Nemo.
Mm-hmm.
The mom dies. And all of the babies.
The Good Dinosaur. The dad
The Good
dies
Dinosaur,
in the beginning.
yeah. A lot of Pixar movies start from something sad.
Yeah, but I think that's also what I didn't want. Because originally I think I wanted it to be the mom that passed away, and the mom spoke through the pencils. But I was thinking the same thing. Like, Pixar movies, the mom and dad always die. So like maybe if it's a grandma and she's from England and London, then it makes more sense that way. Plus, I like the name Mullenberg because that's my Nina's maiden name, and I thought it just went really good with the character because it sounds like an artist, Nick Mullenberg.
Yeah,
I don't know. Coming up with the names was always hard, so I was like, what do I make his love interest name? And I literally typed in girl names on Google and was just searching through like the 50 girl names that it popped up with, and Sophia. I was in between Sophia and Olivia, and I was like, Sophia sounds nice because you call her Sophie, or like what I call you Ash. You got to come up with like a nickname, like Soph. Either way, but I don't know. I'm really happy with what I wrote. So
yeah, I hope they make something like this. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I just love Pixar movies. All of them are just amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, I'd really want it to look like kind of how Soul is. Like the animation that they use for Soul, how they make their characters look. I'd want it to look like that. And obviously a lot of it would take place between like Kansas City and, UK and like London. So, and there's not really like a movie, like a Pixar movie that takes place in like London. And that would be a good chunk of the movie would be in London and then in the Midwest. So that, that could draw more audience just on that alone. Be more intriguing. And I think the plane ride when he was flying back to home after grabbing the stuff, and it starts talking to him, he's like, what the frick is happening? You know what I mean? Like on this plane, he's like talking to the pencil. He's like, and people around him are like, what the heck is this guy doing? And then he just like passes out because he thinks he's tired. Okay, let's hear your idea now.
I don't have like a full concept like that. I don't have like a full movie. I don't even have like a solid like one idea.
Does that inspire you to like what you were thinking about, or?
I mean, I'm such a mess. I'm more of like, I don't know. I was thinking of more like theme park related stuff. Like I want to do a podcast where we talk about like creating our own Disney theme park, which I think we'll have to do. Because I would like to design rides. To me, like I'm more of like an Imagineer for like the rides and stuff.
Oh, I gotcha.
I don't really know. I was kind of thinking about the only concept that was even remotely like anything at all, because I started thinking about, okay, what like theme has Pixar done? Well, and then I'm like, okay, ocean. They've done that. Finding Nemo, Finding Dory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dinosaurs. They've done that. The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Okay, monsters. They've done that. Monsters Inc. Monsters University. Superheroes. They've done that. Incredibles 2. Cars. They've done that. They've done so many different types. And like with Elemental, it's still like related, but they've created these characters out of something that is real, tangible, exists.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what could you possibly create? And then I was thinking, I would really like a movie kind of like Osmosis Jones. But then we already have Osmosis Jones. But I think Pixar could do it. But all animated and like different.
Like about the body?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe like, I mean, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just about the body. I think that would be cool. But I was trying to come up with something that hasn't necessarily been done. And that was hard because there's a lot of things that have been done. The one idea that I even remotely stuck to was like the creation of mermaids. Kind of like in Black Panther, Namor, kind of like their species.
Yeah.
But it would kind of be like the beginning of their species, and it would be more mermaids and kind of like Finding Nemo vibes.
Okay.
So it would obviously start off with like an outcast human or something similar hundreds of, millions of years ago or whatever. And their journey from being an outcast to like finding the ocean and then evolving, or like something happened. So I don't know, some sort of event happened that turned them into like a mermaid, or just like natural evolution.
Yeah.
And then what life is like. But it's kind of like Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's been done.
Yeah.
It's not.
But Little Mermaid is less about mermaid and wanting to be like a man or like a human, with 2 legs.
It's hard because it's like the ocean is so vast. And there's so much that can be explored. So just because we have Finding Nemo, Finding Dory doesn't mean that that's it.
Yeah.
So you could do a whole bunch of stuff with that.
Oh, what would be funny? If like you did part of the if you're going with like that movie, I'm not saying that's what you would pick, but like in one of the scenes they could be in Australia and you could see Nemo touch the boat and then like take off, but they're like watching it from afar.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of like, okay, wizards. We have Onward.
Yeah.
And it like anything that wasn't just like, okay, human world, human things.
See, that's
trying
why
to think outside the box, and then it's like we already have that.
Yeah, and we don't have a whole lot of human, like Soul's like one of the only, well, I guess Soul and like Ratatouille, and I guess The Incredibles too, but they're more like superhero. More like Ratatouille is more, because that's kind of what I got that inspiration from too. Like, the rat is not an inanimate object, but it is similar to like what I would be creating.
Right.
And like Soul, she's walking through the body.
I just realized Luca is Pixar.
Yeah. And
that's basically what I was just talking about.
Well, when you were saying that,
I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, they're like sea monsters though.
Yeah, kind of.
Where they're like turn like to a weird color, not like half man, half like a mermaid.
Yeah, see, I need, you kind of sprung this on me. I don't have a lot of.
Well, I mean, we had kind of talked about that last week, and I was like, well,
Well, with my job this past week,
yeah.
I wasn't in previously. I mean, the first couple months of my job, it was very like robotic. Mm-hmm. But this past week with like my promotion being announced and just needing to take things more seriously, I didn't really like listen to as many podcasts. I didn't listen to as many videos. I had a lot more time focusing on my job and like trying to learn and think outside the box to like challenge myself, because at some point people are going to need me to teach them. People are going to ask me questions, and I want to explore my job.
It's funny because here I am like daydreaming at work.
Right.
But it's literally because I stand in a machine all day and have to monitor like two things.
And if I had just stayed where I was doing what I was doing, I could eventually just be mindless with it and just do it.
Yeah.
For the most part. But this past week has been different. So I haven't had downtime to just think about a Pixar movie idea.
Yeah.
And it's something that I don't know, like maybe it's something that you know, like kind of need to be out and about to like find some sort of creative inspiration. Yeah. So like going on a walk. Mm-hmm. And also I was thinking about a lot of Grayson's children's books that he has, like The Life of a Plastic Water Bottle. That would be a cute Pixar short. The Life of a Raindrop. That would be a cute Pixar short. But it's like, it's already somebody's idea that's already been done.
Yeah.
Grayson's books have a lot of really good little short ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But trying to come up with something totally unique. I feel like the scope of like your movie, like that's a whole project. So to me to be like, oh, I'm going to come up with an idea for a movie, it would take me a little while to do that. Not just a few days or a week or.
I haven't really like, so beyond coming up with the idea of like, cause I didn't know. Okay. So I have gotten like inspiration from like a artist that I follow like online. You know, the Batman, Robert Pattinson painting. Mm-hmm. Well, or it's a dude that colors with colored pencil and he draws it out and everything. His name is Nick. So that's where I got the name Nick from.
I feel like,
because I was like, oh man, that's like so cool. And I was like, that would be really fun to have, because like originally like it was the mom that was gonna die, and she was like a painter, and he was gonna like paint. And I was like, well, I kind of like drawing more. Like me personally, I'd rather like draw and doodle and like use colored pencil and like color like that. And I was like, well, that would make more sense. And then like as I thought about it more just today, because I kind of told you, I was like, I really want to do a podcast about like our Pixar idea today.
Yeah.
So like the past couple hours, I kind of just been like plotting through what I wanted. And then when I sat down and like really started writing it out, as when I was like, the brain juices were like really flowing.
Well, yeah, that's what needs to happen with any creative process. The hardest part for me has always been
the start. Yeah, writer's block.
So yeah, writer's block. I always, whenever I've had to write a paper or a book or something for school, that first paragraph, always the hardest.
Yeah.
Always. The first word, the first sentence. It's a challenge and it takes the longest. Once you get an idea, it starts to flow. But for me, I couldn't nail down a single idea. But I think that since you've kind of created this concept for us, I think this is something that we should continue to do for the podcast. When an idea kind of pops up for either one of us, we take the time, we run with it, and then we can do another podcast about either a Pixar short or a Disney short or a movie, whatever.
Yeah.
That we think would be fun. But for now, I don't have like a solid idea.
Okay. Well, we'll just call this as like my episode of Josh's Pixar idea or whatever. Animated idea. Because it could be like, I think I'd want it to be Pixar, but it could also be a Disney movie too.
I think that sounds like a very Pixar movie. Yeah. Very Pixar.
Yeah.
Did you have any other ideas kind of started before you landed on that one?
Oh man, well, this would not be a Disney movie at all. It's a really, really dark kind of superhero-y movie.
Well, let's not talk about it on the Disney podcast.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But there's just stuff that I think about at work. Like I said, I just daydream a lot because I literally stand in a machine all day and feed parts into this machine where it does the same thing over and over and over. You check a couple parts every once in a while. Just back to the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Standing in a machine all day, like, it's monotonous. It's kind of fun sometimes, but like, you just really, I have to wear like headphones, but not like actual Bluetooth headphones, just earplugs practically, and you kind of just zone out into your own.
I totally would
La La
too.
Land.
I'd totally do that too if I could.
But it makes the time go by fast because you can start like, because in your head you can actually do like dialogue because you could hear the people like talking. It's easier. Like, if I could plug something into my brain and then project a movie, like my movie idea, it would be like so much more cooler than me just talking about like, oh, this was what I would want to happen. Or like, this is how the story would go. Like, in my head, I could see it like perfectly. Like, when I was reading it out, I could see like each kind of individual scene that it like hits on.
Yeah. And I think you would need to sit down with like a group of creative people.
Oh,
Everyone can start jotting down ideas, inspiration from your plot. And like, maybe you can have a few people that are really good with dialogue.
Yeah.
Then you can have a couple people who are good with sketching, drawing, animation, whatever.
Because there's like a lot of stuff in the movie that would be fun, like when him and Nick or when Nick and Sophia are like, she comes to the flat to like get some stuff, and like they're kind of like wandering through London. Like, she could take him to like parts of like her where she works, and like they kind of just talk and about Nana Eleanor that way. So I was like, well, that would be like a really fun. Like I said earlier, like you hit, like Soul takes place in like New York City, and you see like a lot of really cool like New York-y things in the movie, where this could be like, you see a lot of really like cool UK things, and then you come back to Kansas City and you see a lot of really like pretty like Kansas City things, stuff like that. I think it'd be fun because you just expand more on like reaching out to those people that like one live in the area and like relate to the content. But
yeah, I like it. This was a fun creative episode. Like I said, I want to continue to do these, and it just have to be something that we are constantly like trying to think about. But because we're so close to our Disney trip, my brain has been
Disney focused.
Well, the small portion of my brain that I can use to be creative throughout a normal day is thinking about Disney World.
Yeah.
And so I was really thinking about like, okay, we're going to Disney in 2 months. Let's talk about Disney things. So like making another Disney park and talking about that, I could probably come up with that.
I have an idea for a Disney park.
I want to do Pixar park. Like, whenever I talk about that.
Are you talking about like a park, like part of Disney World, or like your own
Disney World getting another gate, a fifth park, because I think they need it. And I would do Pixar park. And so in the episode, I would talk about the different areas of the park. We could talk about restaurants. We could talk about gift shops. We could talk about rides, probably the most important thing, shows, and come up with like a whole thing. How cool would that be? But that's kind of where my brain has been.
Well, my brain on that goes to creating my own park, as in not like another gate to Disney World, but like Disney,
like a Midwest
Disney World, like Midwest.
Well, I mean,
like that.
Do what you want with it. If
well, when we do that, that's what I'm going to do.
I would love to have Disney in the Midwest. We'd be going all the time. We'd have season passes.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then also I was kind of thinking about, since we've been planning our trip, things that we would want Disney to do differently in the future. So really just talking about the things that we don't like about Disney right now.
Yeah.
And I could compile a pretty decent list of things we could talk about for that.
Yeah.
Because Disney is amazing. They're magical. I think hopefully things are kind of headed in the right direction, but they went down a little dark path there for a while.
Yeah.
And I think we could talk about that.
I agree.
So.
But yeah, I really liked creating this idea, and just it's fun because you like we were saying, it just really gets to like your creative mind going, and like out of, not that I was in a slump this morning, but like
You definitely were. I think it's been a little bit of a weird weekend.
not really, but
this
just
morning
like,
was kind of weird.
we
But
all slept in, and
Yeah, I hate that. Like,
it was like 8:30 when we woke up.
I know, and that's
Then
so
we ate
late
breakfast
for us.
at like 9:40.
Yeah.
It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then like, we're still like
We wasted
trying to
away the
wake-
morning,
yeah,
so
we're still trying to wake up, but Grayson like didn't. I mean, I had to go into his room, and he was just playing in his bed.
which never happens.
Yeah, but he was just laying there. So that's why, like when I woke up, I was like, "Oh man, this is a little worrisome." It's like 8:35, and Grayson's not up yet. So like automatically you think like, "Oh crap! Like what's happened?"
Yeah. Well, last weekend, I feel like since I've got on this job where I work at 6 a.m. on the weekends, I wake up at like 6:30 and I'm like ready to go. And I feel pretty good throughout the day. I mean, we're still like full-time working parents, still tired. But
yeah.
like compared to how I have felt today, getting
Pooped.
too much sleep,
Yeah.
like, and I needed a nap because I got too much sleep. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And
that's
I
the
don't
way
like
was
wasting time.
This morning when you were making breakfast, like I was dozing off.
Yeah, you
on
fell
the
asleep on the
couch.
couch because
Like,
we got too much sleep.
I know. And
I need like 7 hours and that's it.
I was like, crap, sucks. And then I finally like got up, and that's when I started cleaning. Is when I started. I think you went to take a shower or something, and that's when I started thinking about the Pixar idea. Then after you got out, I was like, start thinking about Pixar ideas.
I mean, at
'Cause I was
least
thinking of that.
at least we got stuff done today. Like we
yeah.
got a decent amount done.
Well, yeah, but at like 11 o'clock is like when we were really like
Yeah, and I don't like
moving
to,
around.
because normally once I get out of bed and like wash my face, get dressed, and put makeup on, I'm pretty good. I'm tired, but I'm like ready to go. Like I immediately start.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I get it.
when I sleep in, don't like it.
Yeah. That's why
I'm not sharp.
I was just the creativeness of like trying to do this had woke me up so
Yeah.
much. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm having such a good day now.
It was nice to see you excited to do a podcast. Because, I mean, we both get excited about it sometimes, but I feel like sometimes
Like you go through the
I have to
motions.
like be like, Josh, we need to do a podcast if we're going to try to get out content consistently,
Yeah.
and then I have to like drag you in here.
Yeah.
It takes us a while to
Like,
kind of get
in the
going.
groove, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was so excited. And as like I was writing it, I was just like, this is so much fun. Like maybe this was like not what I was meant to do, but like in another life I would have been like I always say that, like I really like movies, and like directing, that would be really fun to me. So in like another life I'm thinking, oh maybe in another life I was a screenwriter for movies or something. Anyway.
Isn't that funny?
What?
Just like I want to raise our children to do what they find that they love to do. And I really hope that our children, or just Grayson if he's the only one we end up having, I hope he or they find something that they're truly passionate about, and I hope that they're able to make that into a life.
Yeah.
Because that did not happen. There's so many things that I love. But at a young age, I didn't settle in on that one thing. And so now it's not too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a kind of weird spot of like,
a norm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I still like, I enjoy my job now. I think they'll stay working at Cox for a long time probably,
Mm-hmm.
but it's never going to be a dream job. I think I'm going to enjoy what I do, and I'm not miserable like I was at TJ Maxx.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not a wake up, oh man, I can't wait to go to work today kind of thing. And I hope that our kids have that. I hope that they find something that is their passion.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that I can think about that I really enjoy, and that would be such a fun career, but it's like the commitment to do that would be like more schooling.
Yeah, you had to drop everything
Yeah.
that we're like doing now,
Mm-hmm.
and like potentially like work part-time, and
Yes.
we still have a kid.
Yes.
And you know,
It's a hard time right now.
Yeah, I can't make enough money to support both of us right now.
Oh yeah.
And like right now, yeah, it's just like it would be like a whole thing. It'd just be like a landslide of like that happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I really enjoy working on our coasters. I think that could eventually be something for me.
Mm-hmm.
That because I get to be creative, and it's not just coasters. It could lead to different things, and it kind of already has started to lead into more like artsy, creative designs and art. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something that would give me flexibility and something that I would eventually enjoy doing.
See,
but I want.
That's kind of like me when we worked on our table.
I loved that. That was
table?
fun, and we worked together really well with it. I feel like.
Well, and that was like made me like, man, when I was a kid, me and Dad used to work in our little woodworking shop for hours and hours and hours, just like building random stuff and like helping him out. And like he worked at a lumber yard, so like for me, learning that kind of like lumber kind of stuff was like something I picked up on pretty quick. Which that's the only thing. The only drawback is I'm not good at math. So like I have a hard time with like numbers and like like rulers and like figuring out like angles of stuff. But like beyond that, like the art of woodworking is like super kind of relaxing because you can kind of get like in a mode. And like working on that table last week, it was really like, oh wow, this is fun.
And there's so much that we could do with our business that would be more geared towards like woodworking. We've talked about a lot of ideas in the past. I don't know, maybe one day.
Yeah.
And we can always do the podcast on the side.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I was going with that. Just life.
Yeah.
Life is hard. So I think
Follow your dreams.
I think yes.
What's your tattoo on your foot say? If you can dream it, you can do it.
It's the only tattoo I currently have. It's the Walt Disney's quote.
Yeah.
I really want like a full sleeve, but tattoos are expensive. I have so many ideas. I want to be covered, honestly.
I know a guy.
I know you know a guy. Does he do traditional really well?
Yeah.
I need to look at his work. I want a full sleeve, at least on one arm. And traditional
I go back
color.
and forth.
I love traditional work. So.
Okay. Well,
anyway, that's not Disney related. It kind of is because some of it would be Disney themed.
Yeah.
But okay.
Well,
that's it for today.
I hope you guys enjoyed my story. If you did, let us know, because I would be curious to see, like, if Autumn listens to this. I'm curious what she would think of the movie, or what of the idea at least.
You guys could get together and make a movie.
Yeah, she can. She's like directing.
She directs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But I just like the idea.
And she would get you a lot of contacts for people in the industry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so cool. But anyway, if you liked the podcast today, I know we started to ramble at the end, but like if you liked the beginning of it, let us know what you thought. And like always, follow us on the social medias, Instagram, Facebook. Actually, we don't have a Facebook page.
No, we don't. We need to get one.
Yeah.
But Instagram, and
YouTube, yeah. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in our next episode, where hopefully Ashley has a thought out idea.
Oh, thanks.